Hello. Okay. Hello. My name is Timeless, and the name of this presentation is The Prophet. The reason for that declination is on Khalil Gibran's book, The Prophet, written, I don't know, 70 years ago, where an old man at the end of his life comes before the town and uh, asks them to makes himself available so they can ask him questions. And that's what I wanted to do. Because there is so much disinformation in the world, and I have lived a long time, and I have seen a lot, and I have been involved in a lot, and I just, I'm a writer. You can see my stuff at kabbalisticnews.com. That's Kabbalah with a C. And I've done videos, and at this point I just want to get online and I just want to talk. I have just so much to say, and God willing, I'm going to try to do this. I don't know, 4 or 5 times a week. And the reason why what I have to say I think is so important, I should dedicate so much time to this, is one, that I'm Jewish. And the Jewish people, we are the repository of ancient knowledge. And this ancient knowledge can really clarify many things that need to be clarified. And it's interesting because the essence of this knowledge is incorporated in a book called Zohar. And the Zohar was written for our day. No one could really understand it until today. And the reason is because in our day, we now have the technology to look out and see what it is that the Zohar was talking about. And I can actually prove that, that this is true, because 20 years ago, I wrote a short manuscript. It's called 26645, A New Cosmology and World History Based in the Kabbalah. And I sent it to the Library of Congress because in this book I predicted they would find 5 moons around Pluto, the furthest planet in the solar system, just discovered 100 years ago. And they would find water beneath the surface of Mars, and both of these has happened. And I did not do this with any kind of precognition or clairvoyance, but rather logic, the logic that's incorporated in the form of the of creation. And I see all these questions that scientists are proffering after all the money and time they've put into their theories, and they still cannot understand the most fundamental, important aspect of creation, which is where did creation come from? Their answer is, and has been for all my life, there was a big bang. The truth is, something happened, but it wasn't big and it wasn't a bang. The Big Bang is just a way for scientists to say we really don't have any idea. Nothing. And one of the big problems is that in the very center of every atom in creation, as far as we know, there is this this point which is different from everything else that we know. We have no idea what it is, and because all they can do is they can postulate that something came out of nothing? We don't know. We see there's something, we can track it, we can weigh it, we can measure it. Where did it come from? Came out of nothing. But we all know that something cannot come out of nothing. That's not possible. The opposite is actually true. What is the opposite? That nothing came out of something. And this is what's described in the ancient books, is before creation, what existed was light. And the Creator put a seed into that light. And in that, it says it was engraved. And when you engrave, you make a space. And that allowed for there to be time. Before that, there was no time, there was no space. And that was the beginning of creation. And it says for 2,000 years, the Creator played with creation, creating and destroying. And we see that when we look out into creation, until God realized that, until God saw that the God, meaning the Creator, saw that this is the time now to make creation. And that's what the essence of the number 26645. 26 is the name of God, and 45 is the number of the human being. You know, in every Jewish in every Hebrew letter, there's a number attached to it, and the number in the middle, 6, are the 6 days of creation. And that's the whole point of creation, is that the Creator and the created should have a relationship. And unfortunately, you know, anyways, and that's and there is a whole plan for creation, and that plan is incorporated into the Hebrew calendar. And of course, the Hebrew calendar predates the Jewish people by 2,000 years, but it starts with the first human being, Adam and Chava. Man and woman, they were androgynous, one human being, see? And there are 6 days of creation, and each day corresponds to 1,000 years, and means that because now we're at 5,780, which means that there's only 220 years left until the Hebrew calendar, and these are truly the end of days. And what is going to happen at the end of the Hebrew calendar? Well, exactly what happens at the end of the week, at the 6 days of the week, and on the 7th day you have a rest, and the rest is 1,000 years of woman and of peace. And this is what is before us. It's unfortunate that none of the religions will talk about this stuff, and there's so much information that is pertinent to the world, truly, and that they just refuse to let out. And so I've taken upon myself that since I can do this, and it can go all around the world, and everyone should know about these things. The first thing that I want to say that, is very important, and I'll just repeat it constantly, that there is a precise time. It's written in the Talmud very clearly, and it's also in the Quran. And the Quran and the Torah, these are two prophetic books. And we are the Semitic people, direct people from Abraham. And in both of these books describes that life begins 41 days after conception, which also doctors find also that's when the zygote becomes an embryo. And the meaning of this is that in the first 40 days, if a woman were to decide to terminate a pregnancy, then that is not an abortion. For the first 40 days, God is pro-choice, no question. And there's another thing which is also very rampant in the world, is the prohibition against homosexuality. First of all, women are not even in that, because women being with women is not considered sexual. It's just women. And men being with other men is only prohibited to Jewish men, not other men. So these things have been taken not just out of context; they've actually been taken and skewed and just lied about, and made life for the human being to be miserable. There should be no hot button issue of abortion, because there's a very simple way, just about education. And that's that. And the thing is about the Torah. People would say, oh, why should I read that Torah? I got the Torah, the Bible, how do we know which one's right? So here's the thing. That first of all, the Torah is prophecy. And the Torah is about law. It's called Eish Dot. Eish means fire, and Dot means the law. This is the fire of the law. And the rabbis, who were extremely strict, that they were very adamant that stricter than the Torah is too strict. That itself then becomes an avera. And yes, that itself becomes an avera. Becomes a sin, to be stricter than the law. And that's why, what I want to say, what's interesting is the word dot, which means law, is what they use in Hebrew if they want to say religion. They use dot. The reason is there's no word for religion in Hebrew, and there's no word for religion in Arabic or in Sanskrit, and that these things are truly sacred texts, things which do come from heaven. These are things we can really trust. And we see there's proof in it that one can actually take that and actually see what's out there, not needing a telescope. Even I could do it. And anyways, I don't know if this thing's actually working and stuff. I see there's one person, there's no one responding. So I'm just talking to myself, so I'm going to stop here and check it out. Thank you.